Hello and welcome to another episode of the Uncommon Energy Podcast. On this week's episode, we're going to be talking about clock abuse at the Gdansk Regional Championships 2025, this past week, 2026, actually, this past weekend. We're going to talk about Sleevegate 2025. Actually, 2025. The other things, 2026. Anyway, we're going to have a Guess That Flavor Text, of course, everyone's favorite segment of the podcast. And then we're going to wrap up this week by recapping the results of the Gdansk and Brisbane regional championships, which took place this past weekend. And then, of course, we are going to wrap it up over on our bonus episode exclusive to our YouTube channel members and Spotify subscribers. My name is Chip Ritchie, and I am joined here, as always, by my friend and co-host, Azul GG. What's up, Azul? How we doing, buddy? How's your week been?
Pretty good. Got to watch the tournaments over the weekend. And before day 2 of Gdansk even started, Chip was exposed thanks to the results from the Brisbane Regional Championships, which happened a little bit or really early in the day because I don't know, Australia is just like time travelers. But yeah, got to watch Gdansk. Chip got
Exposed by
exposed
what?
to Absol Mega Kangaskhan getting
Oh, because
many
I
top
said that
cuts.
it. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, many top cuts, and also took down Brisbane as well, which we'll get to eventually. Ryuki doing it again, man. He's just coming over here from Japan and just kind of farming um, early on in the season. I guess he did it pretty early in the season last time as well. But yeah, watch party and Gdansk was fun for sure. And then just been streaming, of course. Been playing with not all the new cards. Phantasmal Flames isn't out yet, but still been playing with those Mega Gengar, Mega Diancie deck cards, and then some of the decks that did well at the regionals. But what about you, Chip? What were you up to this weekend?
Yeah, for those uninformed, I did last week make the bold prediction that Mega Kangaskhan, Mega Absol would not make top cut the rest of this format and was swiftly proven wrong by a lot of them in top cuts this weekend. But that's okay. We can't get all of our bold predictions right. They wouldn't be bold predictions if we did.
Yeah,
But yeah, my week was good. Actually, we did. I mean, trick or treating. Halloween was this past week. Did trick or treating with Samuel and his little cousin, and had a great time. Run around the neighborhood getting candy. Um, he was a duck for Halloween. I don't remember if I said that that's what he was being last week or not, but that he was a duck, and he was the cutest little duck you've ever seen and had a great time. And then the next day went to the zoo with one of my college buddies, one of my roommates from college, and um, his daughter, who is like the exact same age as Samuel. So that was fun to get to see them. They don't live super nearby, so like we get to try to get together once or twice a year at least. And yeah, had a good time and excited to talk about some Pokemon. Yeah, didn't really watch too much of the tournaments because I was kind of doing a bunch of other stuff this weekend, but I tuned in a little bit here and there. And actually, one of the times I happened to tune in was during top four of Emma versus Kaito in Gdansk. And within minutes of tuning in, I was immediately like, how is this guy playing so slow on, on stream right now? Like he was taking forever between actions. And it was not just me
yeah,
thinking that. It became a bit of a discussion online. We actually had Austin Charles here getting straight into our first topic, who literally timed things out with how the turns broke down during the game of top four that took place here. Emma used 27% of the time. Kaito used 72% of the time. Chess clock enjoyers point to this as example as to why we need to make a change in the way time is conducted at Pokemon tournaments.
yeah,
Uh, it was definitely, I mean, like I had not been watching very much of the tournaments throughout the weekend, admittedly. I'd been following a little bit on Limitless. Shout outs to Robin, by the way, for the live thing you can do on Limitless now and keep up with the
yeah,
tournaments as they're happening. That's super sick. Um, but yeah, I mean, immediately as soon as I tuned in, I was like, "Holy cow, this guy is playing so slow. How is he not getting a warning or something?"
yeah. And the pie chart, of course, looks bad, but you shouldn't like draw your full conclusion and opinion from simply the pie chart because like theoretically Emma could be playing a deck that plays super quickly, and not that she was, but she was playing super quickly, and Kato could be playing a deck that has a ton of actions and plays a lot slower. So you shouldn't obviously draw your conclusion from just the pie chart, but if you did watch the match, I definitely questioned how Kato had not seemingly received a warning up to that point, after a couple pretty um, long, long thinking times in between actions because his actions were taking super, super long. And I do like obviously like everyone wishes they had infinite time to be able to think about every action so they could play perfectly. And time is part of that, trying to play perfectly, giving yourself more time to think through your actions. But there's a time limit. You can't take infinite time. And there was actually a little bit of clarification from that as well from Emma. Emma did respond to this tweet
Yeah.
saying that she personally did not have a problem with Kato's pace of play, and that even Kato asked the judges for some extra time to think at a moment in the match, and she was also personally okay with it. So I guess that's like the first thing we can maybe talk about is like, what do you think about that? Do you think like nuance like that? Because like obviously, like at a normal table, this would not be allowed. But like the nuance of a potential stream match of high stakes where you're in a situation where, and we could bring this up as well because it's gonna be part of like that nuance is they definitely weren't gonna run out of time. They had plenty of time left to complete the match. It's just like, should Kato be allowed to take extra time per action if he asks the judges and Emma was okay with it? What do you think about that?
Yeah, no, I definitely think, like, in general, for the most part, as long as both the players are okay with what is happening, that should be fine. That's kind of my, like, general take on it. Now, obviously, I think there's some things like deciding the result of a match by random memes, like
Yeah.
flipping a coin and stuff like that. Like, those are things that are against the rules, and sure, both players may be okay with that, but that is something that is more expressly against the rules, right? Something like this where it's just like the time. I mean, I think one way you could think about this is like uh it's like up to the players. Like, the judges are there to, like, facilitate the tournament
Yeah.
organizers are there to facilitate the tournament, but the players are the one there who like, putting leaving as much of it into their hands, I think is generally better, is basically what I'm trying to get at here, and I think, like, allowing them to kinda make the calls on these things, like, if they're both okay with slower pace, right?
Yeah.
Especially in this situation where, there was a lot of time left in Top Cut, a time allowed in Top Cut, right? Both
Yeah,
decks
I'm
that
sure if there was
like, I
only a
don't
couple
think this is a
minutes
matchup
left.
that's gonna last too many turns too often, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure if there was way less time, Emma probably would not have been okay with him taking, like, such a long time, but she
It's
knew there was a lot of time left, so it definitely and I think I agree with you, like, leaving it up to the players to let them kind of handle that is fine. The only argument I could see would be off stream, it makes even more sense. On stream, you could argue how much do you value the quality of the product of the stream because it definitely isn't super entertaining to watch Kato take those longer moments, but it did like he did make some really cool plays that he might not have been able to come to um if he hadn't, taken that extra time that he was allowed. I don't know if it would, like it doesn't seem like it was allowed every action. I think there was like a certain point where and I even like noticed a point where I thought the judges were maybe talking to him and like but it might have been a moment where he was actually talking to the judges and asking for extra time. So it seems like it was only happened once during the match. I don't know if that carried over to follow up actions or not, but I think I overall kind of agree with you where it's like let the players kind of control the match as much as possible with this kind of stuff. And we do see that like is not always how things go. Like if someone makes a mistake with a situation where a double prize penalty would happen. The player even saying, "I don't care if my opponent doesn't take the double prize penalty," or I don't
yeah.
think they should get the penalty. They get the penalty anyways, obviously. So there is some enforcement above the players. But in this kind of situation, for sure, I don't hate that the players have a little bit more control, even if it is like personally. The only thing I can think is like, how do we feel about it being the stream game? But even then, I think it's probably fine overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the competition, competitive integrity stuff should always come over the entertainment value of the stream. Like, you should like, the match should play out the way the match would have played out, and that probably most often does not happen just because of the nature of stream, which is, maybe a little unfortunate, but, um, you want it to have as little of an impact as possible, and, uh it's definitely much more boring to watch, but also you could say, like you pointed out, you got to see some maybe more unique plays that you wouldn't have seen otherwise, and that's an exciting thing to watch, right? So, um,
Yeah, definitely.
there's ways to look at it for sure. Um,
Yeah, one more thing I guess I was gonna add to that was Something else. Yeah, like in general though, like obviously if Emma was not okay with how much time he was taking, then
Yeah.
but it did feel like maybe it was still a little bit too lenient in the early actions of the match, to be honest, because it didn't feel like that conversation happened until later in the match. It did feel like Kato was still taking a really long time with his early actions. I don't think that conversation happened immediately. It seemed like it happened either in game 2 or as the match had started to develop a little bit. So um it does seem like his pace of play was still pretty slow early on for sure. I do think it's kind of like speaks to a broader conversation in the game in general of just like where we're at with pace of play. I think one thing that we could talk about that we did mention earlier on, um, and this is one thing that Data still has over the Limitless Labs, is it does show the tie rate of major tournaments. And we can see that the major tournament tie rate is about 15 or 16%, which is what it was last season. So it seems like +1 to +3 hasn't affected the outcome of matches too much. Um, as far as that goes in terms of like players' pace of play. Maybe players have started playing faster. I mean, I haven't been to a major tournament this season, so I wouldn't I wouldn't know how players are playing.
Yeah, I mean, and that was one of the things they pointed to when they made the change as well was that, hey, there's a lot of games that are going to the +3 turns. It takes a lot of time, and then most of them still end in ties anyway.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why they went with the change. So I think I don't know. I think that if it felt like, I mean, I've definitely seen some people like have some grievances about it, right? But it's also like, it kind of is what, like, everyone's on the same playing field, right? Everyone's playing to the same rules, and sure, there's maybe some games that you would have won, but you ended up with a tie. But there's also probably games that you would have lost that you ended up with a tie, right? It's all kind of just like evens out
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, and I think actually watching, like, specifically actually Emma and Piper play on stream quite a few times these last couple tournaments, they play, like, super quick. Like, so, like, we know the upper limit or upper ceiling, and none of their games were even close to coming to time, if I remember correctly. Like, so we, like, know the upper limit of how fast players can play and basically not make mistakes at all. So, on the flip side of that, I see many times on stream where there's just no urgency in players' play. Of course, I see it basically every single weekend on stream. Like, and it's like it's a little frustrating to watch, of course, as like someone who's competitive. So like you'll see player A who's like has an advantage in the matchup, or at least it's 50-50. And it's like, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and assume they want to win the match, but it's like they're just dragging their feet with like checking prize cards overly, taking really long with their action choices. And you just have to go. Like you have to go, 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 go. And they're just taking so long with their action choices. And it's like, so there definitely is like it's interesting when it's like we talk about time, and it feels like I think the I think players will just kind of adjust. Like no matter, I mean, we can only go so low in time, but like even if they cut us down to like 45 minutes, I think players would overall adjust. The high tie rate would definitely go up at that point for sure, but from what we've seen from +1 to +3, it feels like the player base has just kind of adjusted and started to play faster. And when we see some of these better players playing really fast, even with decks that have like complicated combinations, like Emma was playing
Complicated. That's a good one.
complicated. Can I say complicated?
You said something.
Complicated combinations like the Terra Box deck can have, but obviously she's really practiced with the deck and was able to play it really quickly. And none of her stream matches, like I said, felt like they were ever coming close to time. So it's like, uh, it is one of those things where it's like, yeah, it feels like players probably just kind of adjust to how much time they have. So the more time you give them, the slower they'll play because they can play slower to think longer to ideally play more perfectly. But they're still always kind of playing with the idea of trying to win the match. So um, I think it's kind of like represented in the tie rate from last season to this season. It really hasn't changed that much, even though we lost 2 turns of matches. So yeah. The only thing would be like, does time need to be enforced more, or can we do like an extra step and like allow people to look at their prize cards so there's no prize checking shenanigans going on? But even if we don't have either of those things happening to a greater degree, it seems like things are playing out pretty well, and people just need to play faster. And we know people can play, and it's not like when you watch some of these players play, they're not like hurling their cards. They're just playing really quickly, right? They just evolve to Noctowl, get the 2 cards, play the 2 cards. They're not sitting there and thinking about every single action. Of course, being more practiced leads to that. And
Yeah.
that's what the better players are going to be able to do. Not everyone's going to be able to do that, but like we know at the upper ceiling of it, it almost seems like time is just like not an issue. I guess is what I've kind of coming to a conclusion on.
Yeah, you point out Piper and Emma both playing really quickly. Another player who I see pretty consistently play very fast at a high accuracy level because that's like the trade off, right? Sometimes you can play fast,
Yeah.
but you might make a couple mistakes. But it's Ian Robb, and like so many times on tournaments and even in the field, I will see Ian start his turn and sit there and think for about 20 seconds, 15, 20 seconds, look at the board, hands on his head, hands on his, chin, whatever it is, just thinking for just a minute. And then boom, 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 flies through the deck, makes a bunch of decisions back to back to back, knows exactly what he's doing once he's kind of formulated what he wants to do.
Yeah, yeah, and it does feel like that is, like, gonna hopefully, we see more of that kind of just adjust as players, like, try and improve and try and get better and more competitive is, like, the idea of, just kind of playing the game. That's, like, a big question that's come up to me a lot in my chat, with so many new players getting the games is how do you play faster? And the way to play faster is just force yourself to play faster. Even on TCG Live, you could have a little timer next to you, and, like, just start it immediately when your turn starts or something and only take, like, 10 seconds, like, maximum 10 seconds before you have to make an action. Just force yourself to make actions and you'll learn to think faster and play faster. Of course, like doing it with the physical cards is definitely a big difference as well. So, try and go to locals, league cups, league challenges, and just force yourself to play the game faster. Try to take less time. Don't maximize, even though, especially in like best of 130 minutes, you have so much time, right? That's a lot of time for a game of Pokemon, or it feels like that compared to best out of three. 50, just force yourself to play faster. Try and make your goal to have as much time on the clock at the end of the round as possible. Make that like your high score or something like that.
I also do think like this situation is different than some of just the general like longer games that we've seen on stream, like due to prize checking or slower decks, like people just not playing as quickly, whatever it is, where things like ended in a tie. Like this game still concluded, right? Like,
Yeah,
and so
very
that's another,
comfortably.
yeah,
Yeah.
another big aspect here. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think like in general, if both players are that's kind of my stance on it right now. If both players are okay with it, I think it should be fine. But I feel like that situation is basically only ever going to come up in Top Cut. Like I think for the most part,
Yeah.
like Kato's pace in 50 minutes is I don't care who you are, is probably not you're not going to be cool with it, right?
Yeah, definitely. Unless you literally had like unless game 1 and game 2 are like go by super quickly, right? Then there's like
Sure, sure.
maybe. But yeah, like the average game of Pokemon, you're probably gonna be one that's gonna be too slow. Your opponent's not gonna be okay with you playing that slowly for sure.
All right. Well, our next topic here is around card sleeves. A little bit of drama stirred up this week. Our friend Andrew Mahone did a little bit of an investigative piece posted over on his YouTube around a bunch of different popular sleeve brands. And his conclusion was that these sleeves all come from the same factory in China and are nearly indistinguishable from one another. Um, yeah, lots of different interesting things going on here. Did you get a chance to watch this video, Azul? Or I'm sure you, at minimum, heard a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah, I watched the whole video and after I guess like maybe to start off with from myself after watching the video, watching people discuss the video, discussing it like with my chat a lot as well and kind of coming to like some thought process on it. Like the first thing I would mention about Mahone's video would be I think it was like it was definitely it's not a video that needed to be made, but if he wanted to make it, there's no reason for him not to make the video. There's like a couple things like as far as like things that I think he came up a little bit short on in the video in terms of like but like this is like the first time he's ever made a video like this, like an investigative,
Yeah, journalistic piece.
yeah,
Like,
journalistic documentary. I don't want to call it like a drama video or a hit piece type thing because it's not
yeah,
really
yeah,
either
yeah.
of those things. It's just like he came to a conclusion on something interesting
A
and then
deep
wanted to like
dive.
yeah, kind of a deep dive into the space. Um and I think there was like a couple things he definitely missed in terms of just like because I've like watched videos like this in like not in the Pokemon scene, not in card game scenes, but like in other stuff in life, like investigative journalist type videos. And he probably should have made a disclaimer that he was sponsored by Dragon Shield. He didn't make that in his video. Everyone kind of knows he is, but he probably should have done a disclaimer of that. Should have made it a little bit more clear that he didn't investigate the Element Sleeves brand as well. I think that should have been like made a little bit more clear. And then like the third thing was I had like one, oh he should have got he definitely should have ordered and waited to get some sleeves from the Alibaba website as like a test, like a baseline to work off of. Like that, he should have gotten some sleeves from the website that he mentioned, where he found what seems like the sleeves that all these sleeve companies are buying their sleeves from, and had like a baseline to work with, right? So those are like three things that I feel like he came up a little bit short on in the video, but overall, I think it was a good video, like well done as far as that goes. And I mean, it's the first time he's done a video like this, so as well, so I don't like hold any of those things like super strongly against him or anything like that.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting thing. I feel like a lot of people kind of already knew this, to be honest. Like I've
Yeah,
seen some little tweets here and there from various different people, like with the Alibaba link or with screenshots of it. Um,
yeah, I I mean, if you follow Tate Whitesell on Twitter, which I do, you knew about this for a while because
yeah,
he
yeah.
just, made quite a few tweets on it. Yeah, it's not something I was ever aware of until I saw Tate's tweets, and then I was like, oh, this does seem like that is what's going on. But it's not something that ever like drew my attention enough to like want to make a video like Mahone did or anything like that, or bring a ton of attention to it.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess like one of the questions that kind of comes out of this is like how like is this that big of a deal?
I think the answer is no. I think what Mahone's video does, and Mahone isn't even like directly called towards. He never says you shouldn't buy these sleeves or anything
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that. I think I think FCBC with their response to Mahone in his DMs they kind of did that themselves. Like that was a really unprofessional response to Mahone. Especially because like Mahone is not his YouTube channel is not like, to defend Mahone here, his YouTube channel is not a drama documentary
Yeah.
hit piece type channel where he has a track record of making a bunch of videos like this that are done very poorly. He did have the or the Geno documentary, which he took accountability for and did the right thing around that. So you can't even like call him out on that because he took accountability for that.
And that
Um,
wasn't even but that wasn't like a drama piece, you
yeah, it
know?
wasn't even like anything in this kind of scope as well. So like their response to him was just like super unprofessional and just like crazy, because like that's just not that's not the kind of content he makes to begin with. Now, is that the kind of content he's going to make with this? Who knows? Who knows where he's going to go with this video? But so far, he has a pretty good track record, I would say. Like he's like, it's like there's one thing to like make a video like this, and then to make a video like this and be really sloppy and have poor research and not have all the facts and make a bunch of allegations and claims that aren't actually backed up. But everything he puts out in this video is pretty substantiated. So like, yeah, but yeah, like once again, he has no history of like being some kind of poorly run slop drama content channel. So yeah, pretty interesting choice of words from from FCBC, and I mean they kind of dug their own grave on this one for sure. Mahone didn't help them at all, or Mahone was not like, they dug their own grave. They dug their own grave in this one.
Yeah, it's
Um,
definitely it kind of surprised me how many people I think that a lot of people like especially I saw like some of the responses from the people who own these sleeves brands at first. Um it almost felt like they felt like it was a bigger deal than it really is.
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure like most people like you have surely in the last 6, 12 months, whatever it is, ordered some random product on Amazon that you just needed that is just some white label brand that was cheap made in China, but like someone else's put their branding on it to like sell it. Like this is like a business model that exists way outside of the TCG space. Um and at the end of the day, like I mean, as long as they are selling like, sure, I think a lot of people looked at the cost of the boxes of sleeves from the example that Mahone gave, right? When he was messaging with the person who works in the plant or, Mr. Barry Zhang here
what
about
up,
the
Barry?
pricing of how much it would be to get a box of these sleeves versus, like, what the upcharge is for these people selling
Yeah,
their sleeves. I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, if people are selling a product that, um like they're selling a product that, uh, they're not, like, misrepresenting, I should say, like
Yeah, that's like the only thing is like I haven't paid attention to the marketing of any of these sleeve brands very closely, so I don't know. And that's like what Mahone's video is basically doing, just kind of giving transparency to what a lot of people in the community probably did not know. And one thing that I think is a little toxic is how many people were like kind of being like, "How did you guys not know this?" Like I was like, "Bro, what like freaking like people who just like play Pokemon as a hobby and then like see these brands of
Yeah,
sleeves like
yeah.
entering the game. They're just like buying like a cool sleeve brand that they like just saw." Like so a lot of like yeah, I felt like a lot of people were like kind of making fun of everyone for like not knowing that this was a thing. But it's like I don't know. I don't expect anyone to know this kind of stuff. People have like real lives, right? Like going on. They're not breaking down how all of the sleeve brands are coming from Barry over in China. So I feel like that was a little toxic, a little bit of a toxic response from some of the people in the community, but this is like not too crazy. But that is like the biggest thing is like if these brands are like selling their products as something super different and unique, that is where like Mahone and like I said, I don't pay attention to any of their marketing, so I don't know if they do that. But now the community can kind of make their own judgment call on that, and they can be like, "Ooh, X brand of one of these brands." They're just like they were trying to sell me something that it definitely is not. I don't trust them as a brand anymore, right? And as far as like the upcharge thing goes, it's like I mean, I didn't see anyone break down like the cost, like the turnover, like the full turnover, because like it's not as simple as they buy sleeves for a box of sleeves for $2 and sell it to you for $10. They have to get the sleeves, ship it to you, marketing. I don't know how many employees these people have in their companies. Like, it's not fair to just be like, um, they're making a ton of money on these boxes. I don't know what the whole overhead situation looks like. I don't think anyone who is making some of these claims know either, right? I didn't see anyone breaking down what they thought that the profit actually was for a box of sleeves. So I think that's unfair actually to these sleeve brands is like people being like, oh, they're just like they like kind of like saying like they're super money hungry and they're just making a huge profit off everyone because they can get them so cheap and then sell them so hard, so high. It's like there's a lot of money that has to be put into them getting the sleeves and then getting the sleeves to you and somehow like, you know, marketing themselves to make you want to even buy the sleeves from them to begin with. So that I think that was like a pretty unfair take that I saw from the community in general. Like I didn't see anyone breaking down the price points of everything to like justify that take. People just saw like two prices basically 180 from Barry into what $10, $11, whatever they charge for their sleeves.
I did see someone, I don't remember who this came up on my feed this week. Someone was like, "I don't care what your sleeve brand is, but if I can't buy it at my LGS, I'm not buying it," or something like that.
Yeah, I did see
Uh,
that one. Yeah.
yeah, but, I think that's a perfect segue into thanking a fantastic sponsor who you can definitely find at your LGS. Thanks to Dragon Shield for supporting us here. I mean, what a great segue,
Great
from
segue.
here we go into thanks a bunch to Dragon Shield for supporting us here at the Uncommon Energy podcast. Dragon Shield, of course, makes some of the best card gaming and tabletop gaming products on the market, and we do love them for their sleeves. I actually saw a breakdown this week. People were like, like getting the details on what sleeves each of the top 8 used for Top Cut this past weekend in Gdansk, and there's definitely, I mean, people are using all types of different ones, of course, but I did see a good thing from Christian Fontenot. Showed his, or no, maybe it was Hermione. I'm not gonna be able to find him on Twitter. It's impossible to find people on Twitter if you're just like searching a name.
I think it was Christian.
Tweeted his sleeves that he never changed a sleeve the entire tournament and was indeed using Dragon Shields. We use them for all of our Pokemon TCG needs, and we recommend you do the same. They are our favorites, our go-tos, and very, very consistent. Azul, you got a couple colors you always like to recommend?
Yeah, my go-tos, the tangerines and the magentas. I also like the blood reds, of course, but I mean they just have such a ridiculous amount of colors to choose from and styles, right? Dual mats, non-glares, and Chip's favorite, the
The
classics.
classics. Let's get it, dude. We need to get to a point where the mint classics show up here on the player's favorite section. That's the goal, guys. Buy some mint classics and buy enough of them so it shows up right here on player's favorite so everyone else can get on that train of some incredible sleeves.
Yeah, I don't know about the Mint Classics, but they got a lot of other really good sleeves. I don't know. Chip's obsession with the Mint Classics is just unhinged.
So
But
good, dude.
from there, up next, we do have guess that flavor text. This week, Chip is going to pick a card, read the flavor text to me, then I have to try and guess which card and Pokemon. Actually, just which Pokemon. I guess I don't have to guess the card. Which Pokemon? Because I'm never going to be able
Oh,
to guess the card. You actually sometimes like literally guess the card. Like you know the card. I just try
it's
and
true.
find the Pokemon. I'm currently in the lead by 2 points, 40 to 38. And yeah, I'll get 4 points. Like I almost got. Oh no, I did get actually. Oh, I got a 4-pointer into a 3-pointer. I didn't even remember that.
You're doing pretty good, buddy.
Yeah. So I could get 4 points again. I'd settle for 3 like I did the week before if I get it right. And then for each lifeline I use, I get 1 less point. What set the card is, what stage the card is, and then read an attack name. What set the card is from? Excuse me. All right, I'm ready, Chip.
All right, buddy. I got one here for
I'll take
you.
2 points. I'll take 2 points this week.
Also, I did just realize I do feel like I should say, since we just got out of the ad read, the Mint Classics are unfortunately sold out on the Dragon Shield website right now. So you got to go find them at your local game store or something. Hopefully they've got them. But I'm gonna be watching them. Now I've got like 2 or 3 boxes that I've got to like save for a special moment now. I don't know.
Yeah, this might be it.
Keep them in the
The
wings.
end.
All right. Here we go. Here's the card. You ready?
I'm ready.
A Pokemon that lives in warm seas. It inflates the flotation sac on its head to drift in search for food.
Ooh, flotation sack on its head. Isn't there a Pokemon that is like no, but that wouldn't be it. Flotation sack. All right, give me it again.
A Pokemon that lives in warm seas. It inflates the flotation sac on its head to drift in search for food.
Warm Seas makes me think of Gastrodon, but does Gastrodon have a flotation sack on its head? What is Gastrodon? Stage 1, right?
Gastrodon is a
Um,
stage 1.
all right, read it to me one more time.
A Pokemon that lives in warm seas. It inflates the flotation sac on its head to drift in search for food.
Yeah, since there's just so many water Pokemon. This like the sack part is just like so hard to like pin down in my head. I can't like mentally think of maybe like Huntail. No. Yep. Let's use some lifelines here, I guess. What set is the card from?
It is from Diamond and Pearl Majestic Dawn.
Diamond and Pearl Majestic Dawn. I think there might be a Huntail and a Gorb. They could be Huntail and Gorbis in that set. Gorbice. But I don't know if it'd be either of those. All right, give me attack name.
Water Pulse.
Okay, I think that could be Gorbis. Sack on its head. All right, then I guess what stage is the card? Stage 1.
It is a basic.
Okay. So Majestic Dawn, basic, Water Pulse,
That's correct. You got it.
Warm Seas. All right, read it to me one more time.
Flotation sac.
Final time.
A Pokemon that lives in warm seas. It inflates the flotation sac on its head to drift in search for food.
Dude, I don't know, man. Like I can't even think of Manaphy, Fione. Fione has like the little light bulb on its head, right? Or is that Manaphy? One of them's like the little thing on there. But is that a flotation sack? I mean, let's go. Let's just go with. They could have water pulse. Let's just go with Fione. Yeah, sure, Fione. Whatever. I don't even know.
Locking it in?
Yeah.
Dude, there is no way. There is no way, man.
Dude, that is that the flotation sack? The thing under its hair?
Dude, how did you get this? How did you get to this?
Dude, I don't know. Dude, well, there's like I mean, I don't know. Well, I was
Oh
thinking like
my
Fiona Manaphy. What does
gosh.
Manaphy look like? Let me look up Manaphy real fast.
I
Manaphy has a thing
am
on its head too. Yeah, I was like, I think they both have things on their head, but I don't know which one it would be. I was
How did you
actually
get
like
down to the
50-50.
50-50 and that's the
Yeah.
one you landed on? Holy cow, dude. You didn't think about, like I was thinking you might would think about, like, Tentacool or something like that.
No.
Frillish, like, those are Pokemon I kinda thought
Oh,
you would
isn't
think through.
Frillish? Frillish is too new, right?
It is, but I didn't know if you would know
Tentacool?
that.
No, no, but I can picture see, I can picture Tentacool too well to like think of it having a sack on its head. But
The
Manaphy and
entirety of its
Fion,
head could be considered a sack.
yeah, but I don't think it's like a squid, like or
Well, it's
whatever.
a jellyfish. Or it is like a
Well,
squid, isn't it? Yeah, it's a
yeah.
squid.
Yeah, but like Fion and Manaphy, I'm like, they have something on their head, but I just can't fully picture it
There
in
is
my head.
no
So
way.
like, but it was 50-50 at the end there. I was like, it could be either one.
There's no way you backdoored your way into freaking Fia. I don't even know if we should give you points because you haven't said his name right one time.
Fion? What'd I say?
You're saying Fiona, it's
Oh,
not his name.
Fione?
Fione.
Oh my gosh, nah, Fion works.
Fione. Yeah. Dang, that is a bummer. I'm not gonna lie. That is a lot of weeks of you getting a point and me. I'm 3 points behind now. What is
Yeah.
this world that we're living in at the moment? Like,
Who knows? The lead just might keep growing too. I'm just cooking over here now, Chip. It's
dude,
all
you know what would
over.
be fun? We should do a Pokidoku on like the bonus episode or something. Do you know what Pokidoku
Oh
is?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what that. I've played it a couple times on stream.
Have you?
Hmm.
Are you any good at it? Probably not, because it's a lot of
No,
video game related stuff, right?
no, I'm definitely not.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Maybe on the bonus episode this week, we'll do a little Pokidoku and see how we do.
I was gonna
All right.
say. Oh, I had something else. Well, maybe I didn't have anything else to say. No, no, you go ahead. If I remember, I'll bring it up. I thought I had something.
Well, we can talk about the results of the couple of tournaments that we had this past weekend. There was one down under in Australia. I'm never doing that again. In
Nope.
Brisbane, which did finish first technically, so we can start there. There was also the Gdansk Regional Championships, but yeah, let's start over in Brisbane. And you mentioned it early on, Azul Ryuki Okada, maybe one of
Dude.
the best players in the game right now, a top
Oh, he
5
is.
player in the
Yeah.
game for sure. Just absolutely killing it, man. Getting the dub with Mega Kangaskhan, Mega Absol.
I think someone brought it up on my stream this week. We talked about it like briefly, just like best players in the game right now, and it's like you got to give it to um, what's it called? What's it called?
Henry, Tord, Ryuki.
Henry Tord Aban. Yeah, even though Henry's like we know Henry is innovating in the background. His finishes haven't been as good as Aban's, but he's still up there alongside him because like we know because it's one of those things where it's like as long as he keeps innovating, it's just a matter of time before Henry wins another tournament. So he has like Henry, Aban, Ryuki, Gabriel. Mm, yeah, something like that. Yeah, because like even yeah, Gabriel's already had like a really it's called strong start, 2 cuts, and then was only 2 wins away, I think this or a win away from making cut again. So oh yeah, really impressive from Ryuki. He did go to Milwaukee, and he was on his winning in Milwaukee as well, right? Like he
Yeah.
was literally on his winning in. So I'm just excited to see him play more at more of these international tournaments. And it kind of like I guess we can take a look at go over to labs, start with the metagame, I guess. Um or maybe before we get to the no, yeah, before we get to the metagame, let's just look at the Japanese players like dominated this tournament. It was
Yeah.
actually like kind of crazy. I think someone in my chat said there was like 23 of the top 64 were Japanese. Like now, I will say the
15,
Japanese,
15 of the top 32.
yeah, the Japanese players that are going to travel from Japan to Australia are going to be better than your average Australian player, but still, that's pretty impressive. Also, Australia was weakened slightly. Henry Brand was over in Gdansk, so he was not there to defend the homeland. Um, but I mean, can't blame him for going over there. Had some pretty strong finishes, of course. But yeah, just really impressive performance from Japan. I think that's like another thing to just to make note of here. Oh, obviously Ryuki, we all know him at this point. He's killing it, continue to kill it. But Japan in general, like, I mean, they're just coming over. Like, dude, like Imagine like next Australian regional top 8 is all Japanese players. Like
Dude, less than half of the players in top 32 are Australian.
yeah,
Less than half
this
of
is
the
the
players in top cut were Australian.
yeah. Also, yeah, and also like giving a shout out to Wei Pan here from Hong Kong. This is his second international top cut this season. He got ninth place in the Champions League in Yokohama. So
Yeah.
he's traveling out here, competing everywhere, and performing super well. So that's like really sick to see as well. It's really cool to see him traveling and performing at these bigger tournaments internationally. So that's really cool. And yeah, there was only 52, I think, Japanese players total. So a third of them were in top 32, or roughly, not quite a third, but only more and more Japanese players are going to start coming to the Australia events. The Australians gotta step it up, and defend the home turf, bro. They're about to get taken over. Japan's just going to come for a free invite every every major tournament if they're not careful. Like,
Yeah, I actually wonder because it's like it's not easy to qualify in Japan. I mean, I think
yeah,
I don't I actually don't know how hard it is to qualify. I think the hardest part of it is getting into the tournaments, right? That's like the biggest
yeah,
hurdle for Japanese players is being able to register for the Champions Leagues. Um,
you can chain them if you
is it
place high enough.
easier for a really good like is it easier for Ryuki to get his invite by winning a tournament outside of Japan than it is for him to get his invite through the Japanese structure? Like a player of Ryuki's caliber?
I mean, for Ryuki specifically, it might be close. He still probably has the edge in Japan, though. I would say he probably still has a higher chance of getting his invite, just like only playing in Japan. But I mean, they don't have that many tournaments, so like if they have that extra time to like just kind of dedicate to the hobby, right? Like if they
Yeah.
go like even like players like in North America and stuff like that, like we have like so many options for tournaments to go to. So, but for the players in Japan, I mean, they got five majors total, right? Four Champions Leagues plus the Japan Nationals, and sometimes you just don't make it in on the lottery, right? So like, I mean, you got the locals, of course, but like you got some extra time, you can take off work or school, or I don't know, Ryuki might just be doing Pokemon full time, so it makes it kind of easy for him to potentially travel to these, especially the Australian tournaments. So um, yeah, it's definitely really cool to see more international competition. Feel like we brought this up last week as well with the results from Lille. Like that was a really cool top cut, just in terms of the diversity of countries outside of Europe that were in cut. But even seeing this, even though it's just basically Australia and Japan, besides Wei Pan there, and I guess Leighton's from New Zealand there as well in
And there's
cut.
a couple
But
Americans here in the top 32 as well.
yeah, some Americans made their way over there. Um, oh, what? And
Eddie
Hetty's over
from
there too.
France, yeah. Chinese, Mexican.
Yeah,
That's Italy. Dang it.
Italy. I didn't second guess it, but then I saw you mouse over it. I was like, wait, is it? Is it? No. Dude,
Oh,
it is
just move on. Just
funny.
keep going. Just keep going. Keep going.
It
Keep
is
going.
funny to see the European players going all the way to Australia. That maybe they didn't make it into Gdansk, or maybe they just want to go to Australia. Um, we saw Rahul making that trip as well. There he is at 63rd place. He went from Lille to Australia instead of Lille to Gdansk. But maybe he didn't make reg, or just want to go to Australia. Maybe some players just want to go to Australia, even if they were in Europe the week previous. So yeah, it's just really cool. I think it's just really cool to see more international competition, and just honestly, just getting to see more Japanese players compete. And I think specifically, I don't think we've ever seen Ryuki top cut a Champions League.
No, I
But
don't think so.
your
Yeah.
skill gets to shine so much more in our major tournaments compared to the ones in Japan, just because of the structure. Best two out of three is
He's got a
just
couple here.
okay. Okay, he does have a couple. Yeah, it's just so much more. What is the word I'm looking for? Conducive. I don't know about conducive, but like you're more likely to exceed at our our major tournaments compared to Japan based off your skill. So I think that's pretty apparent from what we've seen from like Ryuki's like kind of proof of that, and some of the other Japanese players as well that we've seen succeed over here as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, we can take a look at the metagame, see how everything kind of broke down. Nothing too crazy compared to what we've seen previously. Click on what day one and then turn on the group pairing.
Yeah. I mean, it's the
But
same
this
between
works.
day
Yeah,
one
that
versus
works.
over. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Gardevoir, Dragapult, Golden Go, Charizard. Seems like those are going to be leading the way pretty much regardless. Now, Golden Go is pretty interesting. It's like still pretty, or is like Golden Go Joltik, I guess, is getting grouped in here with Golden Go
Yeah.
variants. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's like, should that even be grouped in? Like, should
No,
Golden Go Joltik
I
box be
don't think
grouped in with
so.
Joltik box?
I think it should. It is like a they're like Joltik decks versus Golden Go decks.
Yeah.
'Cause the deck is so much more centered around Joltik Iron Hands. Like that's what carries the deck. So yeah, I think like we're just continuing to see Sarah Ledge kind of fall off a little bit, but it seems like Mega Absol is stabilized at
You
like the
hate to
five,
see it,
6.
man.
Yeah, dude, I still believe in the deck too. Like every time I pick up the deck and play with it, I'm like, the deck's just kind of good. You know what the thing is? People just aren't playing Drillbur, man. They're just not playing. They need that extra push in the mid game to get those
Drillbur
big one hit KOs. Like,
is definitely terrible.
you're just a hater. It's so good.
It's
It's
definitely not
literally,
good.
all right. If you could play Brilliant Blender and Legacy Energy, would you? The answer is
I
yes. You
mean,
just say yes.
that's different though.
Yeah, but Drillbur is like
5
75%
Drillbur
of.
is so much worse, and it's a bench space, dude.
Yeah, but you have so much bench space with the deck. Like that's
No,
not a
well, sorry,
problem.
sorry. It, I don't mean it's a bench spaces and you're losing a bench spot. Yeah, I agree.
Oh,
That's not
okay.
a big deal. That guy is stuck on your bench. That's a liability on your bench. That's like a
Yeah, and
free.
Stragapult maybe, but
Yeah, which is one of the main matchups where, in theory, it would be good.
I mean, do we want the dribbler on our bench or do we want to one hit KO the Dragapult, right? We can't gotta pick.
I would rather.
You can't fighting gong for Brilliant Blender. You can fighting gong for Drillbur. Listen, man,
I would rather use
people sleeping.
bundle to take a one prize KO off the bench and push and keep digging to KO the Dragapult the next turn.
Maybe I could see it. Maybe I could see it. I think we both
That's
agree. Sarah Ledge
yeah.
feels
Why are
like
we
it's
arguing?
underperforming. Yeah. We both agree that Sarah Ledge feels better than its placement, but that is one of those decks that I always go
Not a
back to
lot of the
this.
best players are going to
Best
play.
players are not going to play Sarah Ledge if Ross Coughlin's not showing up to the tournament. You know, like he is the probably the highest caliber player that has picked up Sarah Ledge so far that I've seen. So, but he's not. I haven't seen him at a tournament since Milwaukee. So who knows? Maybe Vegas. We'll see Sarah Ledge back in cut. Yeah, the only time Sarah Ledge has made cut, they got DQ'd. So maybe no one wants to touch the deck. They're like, it's cursed. Not going
Honestly,
to
I
touch
wonder
it.
how the trajectory would change if Luke Smith had not gotten DQ'd. Maybe he
And then
wins
like
the tournament.
yeah,
Yeah, like what does the metagame look like?
yeah. Sometimes that's all it takes, to be honest. You need to spark the belief.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need that spark. But yeah, nothing crazy. Guard. It seems like Guardy is stabilized. My prediction is that Guardy is going to be the number one deck until next format, but maybe even till
Yeah.
rotate. I think till rotation is what I said on stream. It's like until rotation, I think Guardy is going to be number one, and I think it. I mean, it's just hard to argue against Guardy just being the best deck right now, and it's hard to argue that any cards will take it out of contention until rotation hits, and rotation takes care of it. But if we go back to the results, like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, Chip on Fraud Watch, not
Yeah.
Mega Absol on Fraud Watch, because Ryuki did win with the Mega Absol deck, and there was two more in cut as well, Leighton and Taisei. Um, yeah, Ryuki was playing the trolley build, and no Cornerstone. So we saw that in Lil. Everyone cut Cornerstone. Seems like that was like going to be a question going into this tournament. Was like, with the Mega Absols added back in, should you still play a Cornerstone counter? We see Ryuki here not re-adding the Cornerstone.
Dude, the Eerie in this deck is definitely just disgusting. Like, I can see that just winning you. Eerie plus Claw of Darkness probably just wins games. Like, if you piece that all together. The Enhanced Hammer is an interesting inclusion.
It's a big card for mirror match to remove their
Yeah,
mist. Um, and then there was another matchup that it can come up against. It can be Charizard. You can use it. This list feels like it kind of struggles against Charizard. Erie's kind of your win condition. We saw like
probably good
at
against Bolt too. Like, you could punish a Bolt
yeah
for maybe attacking early, something like that.
yeah you could definitely get some cheesy stuff against Paul with the enhanced hammer for sure. Um, and then yeah, I mean, like I said, like you could use it against Charizard, but like we saw like from some lists at Lil playing the Team Devolution, which feels like its strongest matchup by far is against Charizard. Not even playing that here from Ryuki. So it feels like the Charizard matchup would definitely be tough. Also didn't play the Tatsugiri, which is like a card that we've seen some people play,
Mhm.
some people not play. And it felt like kind of the trend that when I was looking over a lot of lists, it was like some people were still playing the two Mega Kangaskhan plus Tatsu, but then it felt like a lot of people were choosing between the second Mega Kangaskhan and the Tatsugiri um, with that space.
We got this build here, which is basically the Vinny for or the like Fernandez brothers build, I think, right?
Yeah,
From Belo Horizonte.
Unfair
Then
Stamp, did play the Cornerstone.
oops. You got the unfair stamp in there, and then yeah, this build's got the Tatsu and the single Kangaskhan like you called out.
Yeah,
Also
so
has
we
the
want that.
judge in this build as well, which we've seen before.
That just feels like so like how you never find that. Like you're finding your one of Judge. It's just
What
it's
do you mean? What that's what Tatsukiri's in
oh
here
true,
for,
yeah, my
brother.
bad. I forgot about Tatsu. Yeah, we got him
Always
every
just
time.
what you need. There's also a tool scrapper in this list. Probably can be good in the mirror match. I could also, I mean, Gardevoir could
Yeah,
come up as well. Still,
I think Zoroark with the Hero's Cape is a
oh yeah, sure. Hero's Cape
potentially
is
a
a
big reason to play. And there was like another matchup actually that that I came to the conclusion on thanks to the help of my chat when we were reviewing some deck lists, but I forget what it was. I was like, oh, this makes a ton of sense to include the tool scrapper. I completely forgot what the matchup was, but there was one matchup where I was like, oh yeah, that kind of solidified it for me as being like a pretty good card in the deck. But
let's look at
I'm
these decks.
blanking. I'm blanking.
Slow King matchup.
No. It's good against Terra Box as well. I don't know if it was the Terra Box. Dude, I cannot remember what matchup it was where I was like, oh yeah, that's like really good for that matchup. I don't remember. I'm just drawing a blank. Something.
And then Ryuki did take down
Taro?
Sotaro. Yeah, yeah, with
Yeah.
the Dragapult. Pretty man, it's so boring to click on a
Yeah.
Dragapult deck list. Like they're all the same, man.
Listen, so Taro's doing a little bit different with the Pokemon search supporter, playing Jax over Brox or Hilda's. Most people are on Hilda. Alberto
Yeah,
likes Brox, but yeah, it's pretty boring. I was just like skipping them at some point when I was reviewing
yeah.
deck list on stream.
I
I just started
was,
skipping Dragapult, Dusknoirs.
yeah. I mean, here's Brent's build.
Get out of there, get out of there. It's dip dip. It's so
Um,
standardized at this point, which isn't a bad thing, but yeah, it's pretty boring.
Wipe with the Charizard. This looks
Yeah.
like the Jackson Ford build, but with the Shaman. Jackson plays Shaman, right?
Yeah. That's what I
Okay,
initially said on my stream, but Pan was doing it before Jackson when he got ninth place at Champions League. He was playing a build very similar to this. So maybe a little inspiration going back and forth because his list did
sure.
change a little bit. So yeah, Pan Jackson is maybe was inspired by Pan a little bit here. I'm sure Pan took note of the results from Jackson as well. So, but yeah, this is basically the same 60 that he used uh, to get that third place finish in Brisbane. But yeah, he's been doing the Charizard Jet Energy for a while.
Then we got Australian OG Jordan Palmer. Now, when I first started playing the game, I remember people like nowadays you always hear people talking about Natalie and Brent, right?
Yeah.
But Jordan Palmer was like the Australian player whenever
Yeah.
I first started playing,
He
and
was actually
here
the
he is still doing
only
it.
he was the only person who played in Australia actually back in the day. He was the only player.
Him versus a bunch of like skin eating spiders and kangaroos, right?
Yeah, that was it back in the day. Then
Yeah,
more people
but
have gotten to the game,
playing
but
a Golden Go build here, and uh nothing super crazy here. There's a Lana's Aid in this list.
yeah, I mean, also pretty like the Brock scouting, like he's pretty like as far as tech for item lock goes, like
Yeah.
he's got a Brock scouting and Alana's aid. And actually, the one thing like interesting, like I think every other list from Golden Go that I saw that played Lana's aid over the weekend also played Super Rod, which like confused me a little bit because it's like you don't really need that much recovery, but it's like having the extra like the Lana's aid I feel like is like almost exclusively for the Jellicent matchup, like it's almost exclusively for Guardy Jellicent. Um, but then like having the more aggressive recovery is obviously better in basically every other matchup. So yeah, I guess maybe late game against Pult with their Badu, Lana's aid could come up, and then the Brock Scouting is like extra under item lock, extra Pokemon search under item lock as well. So yeah, as far as teching for item lock goes, Jordan was brought the whole squad.
If there's ever a deck that wished Fisherman was still in the format.
Honestly, well, I don't know. I could see you still playing Lana's aid if you valued Pokemon recovery a little bit.
Do we though?
Well, if you're not going to play Super Rod or Night Stretcher, you probably want the Lana's aid. But if you're playing the
Sure.
Super Rod, maybe you would go with the Fisherman.
And then I mean, yeah, other than that, we got another Charizard in here. Kind of a boring top cut, to be honest. Outside, honestly, I've come to expect more from Australia from their top cut at tournaments. This is just like meta decks, you know. I guess that's what happens whenever there's only 4 out of 9 Australians in cut.
Yeah, they were getting kind of boxed out, to be honest. So they're in there. There's no Guardy. I think that's another point
Yeah.
to note about Top Cut. A lot of Japanese players in cut. Both the finalists were both Japanese players. No Guardian cut. Um, Also, another interesting trend that I've noticed from the Japanese players all the way back to the Champions League and now with their results with their Guard 4 decks is they don't play Pheasantipity in Guard 4. It's kind of like how they don't play Mew in Raging Bolt. Like whenever people ask me about this, it's like, Azul, what is the difference between what is there the meta that difference between like Japan and America and Europe? The answer is almost always no, except for some reason, sometimes Japan, certain archetypes just don't play a support Pokemon. Like they don't play Mew EX in Raging Bolt, and they also don't play Pheasantipity in Guard 4. And they do play pretty high counts of Mystery Garden, but even then, I mean, it's Pheasantipity. Like, what are we doing here? There's no way it's correct to not play
They just want
Pheasantipity. It doesn't
another
make any
psychic
sense.
Pokemon and play a Mystery Garden.
There's no way. I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
They clash with one another. It's bad synergy as well, bad deck building.
Like aesthetically. Look, it just kind of stands out. I get it now. I get it. I understand now.
Yeah, yeah.
Aesthetically unpleasing.
Well, let's move on from the results of Brisbane over to Gdansk, which was won by Daniel Magda, a second-year master now, but I think this is a player that we all kind of knew eventually was going to get a
Yeah.
major dub, and yeah, he was able to make it happen with Lunatone Solrock, and this is a deck, or Golden. I said Lunatone Solrock, Golden Go, Lunatone Solrock. Golden Go is something though he has been on for quite some time. Um, Even at the World Championships, he was playing
Yeah.
Golden Go, and he's always kind of played it a little bit differently than other people are. There's not that much crazy in this list, aside from the Mega Mawile EX, and then I guess worth calling out the Secret Box, which is like probably the third most popular ace spec you'd see in a Golden Go deck.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he does give most credit for the list to Drew Stephenson, who did get 17th and was playing like a 1 card, 2 card difference when Drew bubbled at 17th. Actually, it's kind of funny. Well,
Two
it's a little
tournaments in a
sad.
row, right?
Yeah, it's a little funny. It's a little sad. He bubbled at 33rd out of top 32 in this
Oh,
one. So Drew,
Drew.
it'll come around eventually. He's like, this is one of those things where it feels like you're unlucky, but as long as he keeps up these kind of performances, like he's not far from a top cut of dub stuff like that. So, and we are
Oh
seeing like some
gosh.
innovation with like the Golden Go deck in general that he's choosing to play. So he's being innovative with it, right? The Mega Mawile is kind of like the big shout there, but yeah, like as far as Golden Go lists go, it doesn't look too different, but couple things to take away from there's the Mega Mawile. That is your cornerstone counter, but there's a lot more depth to the Mega Mawile in the deck, to be honest. It's a really good late game attacker, and you can usually find time to like attach to it and then attack with Golden Go to go down to 2 prize cards. And then when you get Ionoed against like a Dragapult or a Gardevoir,
You just need an energy.
yeah, it might be a little bit more risky to put in play against Gardevoir, but against Dragapult specifically, as long as they don't have like the threat of a Dusknoir on the next turn, if you draw 4 prize cards, attach metal, gobble down, KOs Ursaluna or Dragapult on the next turn to win the game. So
Gobble
really good
down,
against
baby.
Dragapult. Yeah, and then there's the petrol in here, but that's because the ace spec is Secret Box, which I have played some games with this build, and Secret Box does not feel that high value in this deck compared to like a Gardevoir or even the build of Golden Go with the Revavroom and the Fan Rotom that I believe Daniel was also playing with a lot of the other European Golden Go enjoyers.
I think he
But
played it at Worlds, yeah.
but I actually, it feels pretty good. Yeah, Prime Catcher is kind of like the other big one that people have been playing in Golden Go. They've been playing the Prime Catcher, but the Secret Box actually, the more I played with it, the more I was like, okay, I can kind of vibe with the Secret Box. We have 4 boss, so we're not hurting for Gust Effect potential. The Prime Catcher is kind of cool, of course, but yeah, it definitely came around on it a little bit. But yeah, it doesn't feel as broken in something like a Guard 4 or even that other build of Golden Go.
Well, and speaking of the Prime Catcher, that was the ace spec of choice from the other Golden Go Lunar Rock player in top 4, and that was Christian here. Yeah, 4 Fighting Gong, Prime Catcher, Lana's Aid in here as well with the Super Rod,
Yeah.
like you kind of alluded to.
Had the Premium Power Pro, which can be a cool card for the mirror match because your Soul Rocks hit harder than theirs, and it also one hit KOs Monkey Dory. So there is that. But also no Cornerstone answer. And that was like one of those predictions. Again, like I mentioned, like are the Absol players going to put Cornerstone back in? Should you continue to play your Cornerstone answer or should you cut it? See Christian here not respecting the potential of the Cornerstone. And I think probably was overall a good call. It didn't seem like most of the Absol players put Cornerstone back in. And that's really the only deck playing Cornerstone right now is that Absol deck. So
player who's kind of sneakily, maybe not even sneakily, honestly, who's just straight up having a good, really sick start to the season is Emma Hagen with
Yep.
the Flareon Noctowl deck. And this is a deck that, I mean, it's had a sprinkling of like success here and there, right?
Yep.
Thomas here, who's in fifth, actually got top cut at Lil just the weekend before with very similar. I think he changed a card, maybe something like that, but very similar build back to back weekends. But yeah, the Flareon box, Emma having a six start to the year. You love to see it. So what do you think about the Flareon right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think that deck has always been, like, fine, and I don't think it's, like, anything crazy still, like, I don't think there's anything going on in the metagame where it's like, "Oh my gosh, Flareon's the play now." It's just like, it's a good deck, good player, playing the deck really well. And if you look at like Emma's list specifically, you can like tell it's like super refined. Like all the one ofs, you see weird cards that you usually don't see in the deck, but when you think about it, and when we watch like Emma play out some of her matches on stream, specifically the Jet Energy, it seems a little off in the deck, but you just watch the games play out. And it's like, oh, there's like so much value to be gained from these cards. So yeah, just a good deck piloted by a really good player. I don't think there's anything super special about Flareon Box right now. It's not like a super sick meta call or anything like that. And it'll probably be pretty good moving forward. I don't see people going out of their way to tech for Flareon Box, so it'll still probably be a pretty good play moving forward. There's not too much difference between Thomas and Emma's lists. I don't think it's a card or two.
Yeah, they both played the Pidgeot, which I think is kind of the one of the things to call out there. Other than that, pretty similar. There were a couple of Grim Snarling cuts. Shout outs to my boy Mike Ellis getting the top cut with Grim Snarl after just missing out on cut.
Yeah, he got
Uh,
top 16 in the
yeah,
other tournament, or the
yeah, yeah.
last, not Lil, but the one before that.
Dude, I hate whenever I'm on labs. I'm trying to like click on a player's name and I end up down here. But yeah, sick run from Mike, and then we've got Arthur here as well on the
Yeah.
deck. It doesn't really seem like there's like a lot of innovation happening with some of these like more fleshed out archetypes, right? People are playing pretty normal lists. There doesn't feel like there's like much crazy going on here. Mike does have the shaman, but I think he was playing shaman previously. I'm pretty sure, right?
No, he didn't play the champion at the previous one, but it's like one of the cards he said he would change, I
He
think,
would
if I
change.
remember
Oh yeah,
correctly.
because he
Yeah.
played the 2-3 Frost last line, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. From Arthur, the big standout is definitely the both of the players were playing Energy Switch, which wasn't like standard initially with Grimmsnarl, but maybe has become standard. But he's playing the Petron EX as like the closer
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
over
That
the
was
Ursa
unique.
Luna. And he didn't play the Shaman here. And he's also going with a build that like no artist like Artisan's a pretty strong card against Poltnor, but he's playing the Psyduck, so he has like that to kind of like back up that matchup a little bit more. Also a strong card against Charizard as well to have the Psyduck, but did not play the Shaman. So that's kind of like a it feels bad to like try and include all of the basic attacking Pokemon, the Psyduck, the Shaman, all that kind of stuff. The Petron's really cool though because it gives you a way to generate damage on your side of the field without having Frostlass in play, and specifically, you can like execute the Yveltal Petron EX clutch combo uh to like win games. So you don't even need Frostlass in play to like make all that work. You can of course set a
Or
Frostlass, but
Grimmsnarl.
yeah, you can do it with Grimmsnarl too. You can poison your Grimmsnarl, Monkey Door damage over,
No,
stuff like
no, I
that.
was saying like you don't need Frostlass or Grimmsnarl in play. You just
Oh
like
yeah, you can just
Petra
win
and
with
Eviltal,
Petch
you know?
Yveltal. Yeah, use a Petch Yveltal Monkey Dory deck at that point. And then also did play the Fez, which you don't see all the time, but
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And then there's a couple of Zorks here in cut. Cal Connor traveling from the US with a build. This has the Mega Absol in it. What we've kind of been seeing people go to as their cornerstone answer. And then Vinny Fernandez also with the Mega Absol.
yeah,
And then it is him getting a turn after Gabrielle got top cut in Lille the last weekend.
yeah. Vinny getting a cut here, and yeah, the lists from both of them are they're pretty similar. They're double Janines, Secret Art in this build. Calvin played a split of the Ends PP up plus the Janines. Also played the Cleffa. Build here from Vinny didn't play the Cleffa or the Badoo as like that early game baby attacker. So neither
Cal
had
has the
that.
Erie in here.
Yeah, and then Vinny did play the Zorosic.
Yeah,
So both of them, you're losing the Golden Go. With this kind of build, you're just losing a Golden Go. Both those are
sure.
like, and Daniel did swiftly. I'm assuming he 2-0'd both of them throughout cut. So like they got taken care of by a pretty good player playing Golden Go. Um, Yeah, you're hoping for the Golden Goal player to blunder at some point if you're not playing. Even with the Dark Manatan, it's still stuff. It's still tough. What you're really hoping for is for them to just dead draw if you're not playing Toad Scroll. To be honest, if you're playing Zoroark, so that's like the only solid answer is the Toad Scroll. We did see after the Zoroarks, we did see the Hermione with a back-to-back cut. That was one of our predictions: is how many players would remake cut. Hermione was one of them, and the other one was Thomas. So there was two to cover one of our predictions here. I predicted three, you predicted one. I
Split the
had
difference, brother. No, no, I
yeah.
said 2. I said 2.
Oh, you said two?
Yeah.
No way. You did. What? I thought you said one. That's on Henry Brand was on the winning end too, so we almost had the three.
That's
Man.
okay. You'll get better at making predictions eventually.
Hey, if you want me to go back and rack up our points right now to see where we're actually at, I will.
Probably pretty close. I don't know, man. Do you remember the time that I literally predicted friggin' Master Ball to be the winning ace spec at that?
Yeah, dude, that was
The-
insane. Did you even make the prediction around Lugia, or did you just say Master
yeah,
Say
yeah. I
Master
think
Ball?
it was Lugia. Yeah, yeah. Obviously, I wasn't gonna just say
Well, no, that's what I
blank
was wondering.
Master Ball and whatever.
Okay,
I
yeah.
knew if it was Master Ball, it was gonna be Lugia.
Yeah, Hermione played a pretty similar Charizard list to what he
Yeah,
played the week before.
got the Mew in
Um,
there.
yeah, the Mew shenanigans.
The
Uh,
90 HP Pidgeotto is catching on.
yeah, everyone's on it. It's the buff Pidgeotto. And then we did have Kato with the lone. Oh, wait, we had Alexi here with another, but this is a pretty similar build. Did
Got the
play Unfair
Ho-Oh.
Stamp, I guess. Did play Unfair Stamp. So had the Ho-Oh as the cornerstone answer, and then played Unfair Stamp as the ace spec, which we haven't seen in a while, actually, is the Unfair Stamp. Usually it's the maximum belt or what's the other one called? I guess Cape and Secret Box have both been popped up a little bit as well.
Yeah. We got Kato, like you mentioned here, on Mega King, Mega Absol.
Yeah. Trolley builds, nothing too crazy. And that is what we've seen be the most successful. But we've seen people try and do actually there was quite a few players, I think specifically Japanese players in Brisbane playing Heroes Cape in this deck. But we continue to see the trolley build be the one that comes out on top.
Is the Zero Six like a soft answer
That's yeah,
to
Golden
Golden
Go.
Go? Is
Yep.
that the idea?
There's got to be other situations where I think there's definitely situations where a standoff happens where they can't punch you because it gives you too much damage to Monkey Dory, and you don't take prize cards to not give them counter catcher up against stuff like Charizard, maybe and stuff like that, or like Mirror Match. So then that's like Zerosic
Against
is kind of like a stalemate breaker.
Zorak probably gets pretty big hands as well.
Against Zorak is pretty good too. But it just feels like it just shouldn't beat anybody. It feels like it still involves your opponent misplaying, but I guess maybe there's a good enough matchup percentage or win rate increase that playing around your opponent misplaying is worth it to include the card. I always hate playing cards like that where it's like, hey, this card's really good as long as my opponent throws 3 turns in a row. Like
Or
that's how I
well,
feel
I mean,
about Zero
you can
Six.
literally win multiple Swiss games because your opponent doesn't know you have the card, right?
Sure, yeah, but like then you still have to beat them. Like you have to beat them in like 2 games, right? Like you do it 1 game and then you'd have to have already like cheesed them in the first game or
I don't know. Depending on your pace of play, sometimes you only got to beat them in one.
true. That's that's fair. It does have synergy with Yveltal. I will say that as well, because Yveltal can slow the game down, even if it's not like a win condition through clutch. You just slow the game down. They're at the very least going to top deck every turn for turn. But if they're using like Golden Ghost to draw cards to try and find Turos, stuff like that, the Zerosix can hit eventually.
There were a couple of Gardevoir in this top cut. Really not a great weekend for Gardevoir
Yeah,
overall. But it was a one split here. Max Roberts with the straight Guardy, and then Jamie with the Guardy Jellicent. Max's list here. So Drifloon, double bravery charm, nothing super crazy. It looks like here.
Town Store. That's kind of it.
Oh yeah, town store. Yeah, yeah, good. And then Jamie has doesn't look like anything crazy. No mystery garden or anything like that. It does feel like a lot of the jelly builds are mystery garden builds. I don't know what the reason is for that specifically.
There's no. I swear I saw a TM Evo in this list. There's no TM Evo.
Oh
One
yeah.
Curlia, bro. I feel like this might get cooked by Poltnor. Generally, Jelly Guard has a better time against Poltnor because like item locking them early can be good. Just evolving to Jellicent is good. Usually play a TM Evo. No TM Evo is interesting, especially after Poltnor's success. Um, that's interesting for sure. I will say, just kind of to speak on Gardevoir in general, I still think Gardevoir is the best deck in the format overall. Like, um, it did have. I think the last weekend at Lille, I think it got exposed for the way people were building Gardevoir, and Poltnor took advantage of that. This weekend,
Yeah.
I just think if you rerun this weekend, I think Gardevoir does better overall. And also, like, I do think when you look at there are some really good players still playing Gardevoir, but it's not it honestly just isn't the same when you go to like a US event. Like I think if when you go to a US event, the caliber of players playing Gardevoir at the highest end is more for sure.
Someone got
Dude,
top
yeah.
32 with Passimian?
It one hit KO's Kangaskhan.
Oh my gosh.
Looking at you reading the card, it's like you're like, what?
That's funny.
Oh, yeah, I think Gardevoir is still the best deck in the format. It's just like for the people who are like curious about like seeing these results. It's like, oh my gosh, is Guardy dead? Is it over? Like Gardevoir's still just the BDIF, but it just didn't have a good weekend. I feel like this time around specifically. I think if you plug Henry Chow and crew into any of these tournaments, there's a lot more Gardevoirs and top cuts. So like the people
So
who are pushing Gardevoir to its ceiling, you know,
early pick, lots of Gardevoir and cut at Vegas, huh?
yeah, I think so.
Is that the way we're going?
A couple, there'll be a few. The question is really just how much of Henry Chow and crew make cut specifically, but you never know when players like Rowan or Ian Robb are going to pick up the deck and play it as well. That adds to the firepower that Gardevoir brings to any tournament.
Well, let's talk about this deck here in the top 32 from Stian. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Uh it's just like an Ogre Pond box Crispin deck.
It's like Terra Box, no owls.
Yeah,
It reminds
Owlless Terra
it
box.
reminds me of Matthew Hubbard's Terra Ogre Pond box deck that he had some success with at the end of last season.
Yeah.
But it's going like further into like being closer to a Noctowl deck because like the deck he was playing didn't play Crispins. It was just E switches, and then he included like End's plans. But this one has Pikachu. It has Iron Hands, and then it also has Crispins on top of that. So like the potential for the energy acceleration is higher, and then it has Area Zeros, so it can kind of go wide and have more options on board as well. And that's where the Passimian comes in with a full
Dude,
bench with 2 energy on Passimian. Passimian does one hit KO Mega Kangaskhan with a Bravery Charm.
that is honestly so sick.
It's his time. He's been waiting for this moment. When was the last time we saw Passimian being played as well? It's like
It's
back
been a
to
minute.
the Passimian deck, right?
Yeah,
Oh no,
there were
people
that
played it. There was the Passimian in the Urshifu deck, right? Wait, was that
yeah.
before or after? That was after, yeah.
Dude, your memory of this stuff is so bad.
Honestly, also like thinking about Passimian artworks, this is the best Passimian artwork as well, honestly. This Passimian artwork here.
What's up?
Honestly, thinking about it, I hate all the other Passimian artworks.
Really?
Yeah, you just couldn't even tell it was a Passimian.
What's wrong with this guy? This guy's cool. Hang
Oh,
on.
this is the one I like. This is the one I like.
I know. What's wrong with this guy?
Dude. Well, no one even
Dude,
make
the
the assist.
illustrator's name is Jerky.
Make the assist. Move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your Pokemon.
Nah, I gotta see what Jerky's out here drawing. Bro, that's some jerky artwork.
Oh, he did the
Oh,
cake.
he
Let's
did the gulpin,
go.
dude. This is like one of the top tier modern era cards, honestly.
You a jerky fan now?
Dude, I always have been. Oh, he
Oh, he
did,
did the
dude. He did
Luminion.
forget
He did
Jackson
that.
Ford's Pidgeotto.
Maybe Jackson's a jerky fan.
Yeah, there you go. I do think, dude, I do really like this artwork. This is a good one.
Yeah, honestly, going through it, he's done some pretty decent ones for sure.
A newer artist as well, it looks like. Started in 151. Shout outs Jerky,
He
I
did
mean.
Tatsugiri. That's actually, dude. He's definitely my favorite
Oh, he
artist
did
now for sure.
Tatsugiri. Oh my
Yeah, let's
gosh.
go.
Shout outs
The
Jerky.
Tatsu.
I can't believe you're hating on Passimian like that though, bro.
Dude,
This is a good
all right.
one. This is a good Passimian artwork.
That one's okay. The other one, the one next to it, is so ugly. I do
This
not.
one?
No, no, bottom right, bottom right. That one's fine.
This is the OG, bro.
Yeah, that one is ugly. Oh, he's like playing like he's a goalie right there, right? What are they playing? Rugby? What is that what Passimians do? They play rugby?
I'm playing coconut ball. Dude, he's wearing a coconut
He's
on
about
his
to dunk
head.
on it. He's dunking on him, bro. Look at him. What's his
I hope
vertical, do you
that the
think?
AI generated timestamps on Spotify this week say like Azul and Chip analyze Passimian art, jerky Passimian artwork.
Passimian's athletic capabilities.
Yeah, there he is. Posted up.
Thinking about ball.
All right.
Yeah, cool build. The Terra box is a cool build for sure.
Then there was a
Um,
Greninja that it's crazy
yep.
that 2 weeks in a
Yeah.
row in Europe we've had we went all of last season never having a top 16.
It's
And
that
then
extra
two
round.
times already this year we've had a player bubble out of top 16.
Yeah, it's that extra round. Honestly, it almost like someone brought this up in my chat. And I'm not sure if they were completely wrong, but it does seem like the asymmetrical cut base it seems like it effectively makes up for the loss of that extra round we had 2 seasons ago. Like, for anyone who's
Yeah.
unaware, this season we have one more round of Swiss than we did last season, but the season before that, we had 2 more rounds of Swiss than we did the season before, but we only cut the top 8, no
Yeah.
asymmetrical. Now, we have one less round of Swiss than we did 2 seasons ago, but we have asymmetrical up to top 16. And it kind of like watching these 2 tournaments play out, it kind of feels like it's like the exact same thing, but it's a little bit more hype, a little bit more interesting, and personally, I just like knowing what I'm playing towards. And with asymmetrical cut, you just know what you need to do to succeed to get to the next round. Like going into that last round of Swiss, you know if it's worth it to play it out or ID for top 32 or whatever it might be. You just know the goal, right? I just like knowing the goal, personally. So I like it. And it also seems like X21 is going to consistently probably make cut. Probably 95% of tournaments, X21 will make top cut, which I think is also just a cool thing to have be a constant in the game. So once again, you kind of know, well, I guess we're playing one round of phase 2 on day 1, but you just know the record you need to potentially be able to still make cut, which is cool. Fan.
This is a pretty interesting deck here. Dude, Grand Tree is such a strong stadium card. Like, it feels like if you ever use it twice in a game, like you're probably winning that game. But like if when it just gets bumped, you feel so sad. Like the power of your deck goes down so much if you only get to use the Grand Tree one time.
That's true. Especially because like your deck's built around it, so you have a higher chance of you doing well with it compared to your opponent being able to get an advantage from it.
Yeah, yeah.
Of course. And I was gonna bring this up. Very similar to the build that Richard Herman played to 11th place finish at last Frankfurt. Was this Frankfurt or last Frankfurt? When was this Frankfurt? This is a Frankfurt. Um, but I think it's obviously there's some inspiration from that build here. It feels like. Um, but yeah, Greninja. It's a deck that, looking at that result from Richard and now looking at this result here, it's like the deck is what 0.3% of the metagame or something ridiculous, but it's getting there, right? This is effectively it was 17th place bubble, whatever you want to call it, but he got the same record as everyone else who made asymmetrical cut. So he like Martian here effectively made cut, right? He got to the top cut record. That's the important part. Did he get to the record? He did. He didn't get to play in top cut, unfortunately. We saw Richard get that 11th place finish in Frankfurt. Like this is one of those decks, and when I played with it as well, I feel like, oh, this feels like not a terrible deck. I wonder if there's more to it, but like it's always hard to like fully realize the potential of a deck until more people kind of pick it up and play with it. So, there could be something here. The big weakness, of course, is its weakness. It is weak to psychic, so that's pretty bad.
Yeah, but maybe like this past weekend was the weekend to use it. If I mean, Gardevoir is still the most popular deck, but like didn't perform the strongest. It struggled a little bit throughout the course. I mean, even as you look in the top 32, there's not
Yeah,
that much Gardevoir compared to normal. There's so much Golden Go. Holy cow!
yeah. Golden go like. Oh, we didn't take a look at the metagame for this tournament, but if you look at the metagame and then specifically just look at day 2,
Yeah, it's Golden Go.
17% of
It's a
day
lot of Golden
2.
Go.
And day 1, it was like I think pretty comparable to what was happening over in Brisbane, but the conversion rate was so high for Golden Go at this tournament.
A lot of good players playing it, man.
Yeah, there was a decent amount. I don't know why this came to my mind. Is cash payout at regionals top 32 or top 64? It's 32, right?
Top 32, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of Golden Go. A lot of Golden Go. A lot of Golden Go made it to day 2 because, like I said, day 1, I think it was comparable to Brisbane, its meta percentage.
10%.
Well, hey, and if you turn the group,
Oh, yeah.
what are we looking at? Yeah, 13. Oh,
13.
maybe a little bit higher than what Brisbane was. I think Brisbane
There was
even went.
more of the Joltik box at Brisbane, 9%. But Joltik Golden
Hmm.
Go was
Oh, it was quite a bit.
1.6.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was.
it's
So actually, it was quite a bit more popular actually over here in Gdansk than Brisbane. Yeah, because it was 6% versus 10%. So that actually is quite a big increase.
it was
Um,
mostly okay, I mean, this is interesting, though. It's mostly the percentage of them that are regular Golden Go is 1.1, but in
yeah,
Brisbane, it was okay, it's
2.
1.9. Okay, I felt like
Yeah.
it was higher, but it's just I don't know, it's weird. There's, like, less people, I guess.
We did actually see Robin Schultz, maker of the Limitless websites. For anyone who didn't know, shout out to Robin. Was playing ESP Golden Go, Energy Search Pro Golden Go at the tournament. He made his way on stream. Someone's still
Shout out to
keeping
Robin.
the Energy Search Pro alive.
And the random one of Pokegear.
That's a little bit extra reach for anything. It could be anything, even nothing. It could be nothing.
Could be nothing. It definitely could be nothing. Any other decks that we should take a look at here, Azul, that were interesting that made day 2?
Yeah, I would say take a look at Tord's list.
Did Towards Mom make day 2?
No, they're both actually 4-2 at some point, so it would have been really really funny if they had hit each other at 4-2.
4 and 4. Just she ran the straight Golden Go, ESP Golden Go.
Two Fez.
You can't prize it.
That's true, dude. There has been moments where I've thought about playing two Fez in Golden Go. Like that's been a thing where it's been like, bro, this is like
Well,
the only thing
apparently
you have
so
to make
has
sure you
Towards
have.
Mom.
Yeah, me and Towards Mom are on the same wavelength with the two Fez. But yeah, Tord played a Arvin Heavy, which we haven't seen in a little while in this format, or at all in this format. We haven't seen Arvin Heavy in this format. Trolley Heavy Mystery Garden build of Gardevoir. And I actually did play some games with this deck, and I really like the Mystery Gardens. It's kind of just like, I mean, I think I said it when the card was coming out. Like, it's like you could effectively play two supporters during your turn through your stadium. Definitely a lot higher ceiling from a Mystery Garden than like an Artisan. And the trolley, like just getting the whole squad down turn 1, just kind of nice. You play through the TM Evo. Like this build definitely has like a stronger pulp matchup than a lot of the other Guardy builds floating around right now. The only thing is you don't have the Artisans, but I think you make up for that by having 4 Arvin,
Draw
2 TM
power.
Evo, and the ability to discard energy with Mystery Garden as well, which can be a struggle.
Yeah, 9 and 4. Let's see. He lost to a Guardy, a Frostless Monkey Dory, a Grim, and a Guardy.
Yeah, couldn't keep up in the mirror matches, I guess. I don't think his list is like inherently bad in mirror match, but I've heard Guardy players talk about how much they dislike the Guardy mirror. There's not much to be played around.
And it's like whoever gets more Monkey Dory in play established, really. Like,
Yeah, if you can establish them, or if you like just open Fez, Mew, or Clefairy,
yeah,
you're
you
just
just
like
lose.
screwed. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that is the results from the 2 tournaments on the weekend. Early thoughts is all Vegas is in 2 weekends, not this coming weekend, but next weekend. So just around the corner, less than 2 weeks. Headed into that event, how should people look at the results from these tournaments and make last minute adjustments?
I think, and I think I was underrating Gold. I don't remember what I had said about Golden Go recently, but I'm pretty sure like up until this point, like I was like feeling like Golden Go's like fine. I don't know if it really seems like that much stronger of a play post these results. Obviously, Golden Go kind of dominated Gdansk. Not got dominated, but it was like the most successful deck for sure. Was Golden Go almost the best conversion rate? Yeah, super high conversion rate. Was 17% in day 2. Won the tournament. 4 of them in top cut. It was a top 16, but yeah, I think looking out for Golden Go is definitely going to be. I think Golden Go is going to be a lot more popular. It's a little bit more on the map, and actually, it's kind of funny because it felt like it was the deck it is now at the beginning of the format. It felt like Golden Go Soul Rock was like, oh my gosh, Golden Go got even better, and like a bunch of people were playing it, but the success from it wasn't super high at the beginning of the format, but now we're starting to see a kind of ramp up as we get to like this is like the midway point of the format. So I think like being prepared for Golden Go, um, and we're gonna have that question mark around Cornerstone versus teching for Cornerstone. The Absol players have to make that decision if they want to include the Cornerstone. The Golden Go players have to decide if they want to include a counter. But honestly, Mega Mawile is just so good in the deck in general. I think we're just gonna see a lot of people adopt the Mega Mawile and just play it because it's just a good card in the deck outside of being a counter for Cornerstone. Um, and then yeah, will Zoroarks add back Toad Scroll? I mean, it feels like you kind of have to. It feels like that's the route the Zoroarks have to go is re-adding Toad Scroll. So and then is this lining up just really well for everyone to forget about Gardevoir? Probably, and they're probably going to be 4 Gardevoirs in top 8. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's how things feel right now.
I think things are lining up for Gardevoir to do well, probably, but also like more than anything, just like who will probably be playing another tournament of
Yeah,
a Bon Henry and Co. If Isaiah
yeah,
makes his way to the tournament as well, like
yeah. I mean, even if that does happen, hey, we had 3 tournaments in a row where Gardevoir just didn't do that well at all, like
the
compared to its
narrative is
usual
changing.
standards. So yeah, like Gardevoir in general just didn't do like compared to its standards, it didn't do that great. So we had a couple tournaments off, but I think we're ready for Gardevoir to dominate once again in a couple weeks.
Maybe you are.
Well, if I go, I'm playing Charizard, so I hope it dominates because I'll be there to
Yeah, what do
take
you
it
think
out.
at this time, at this exact moment, percent chance you'll be competing in Vegas?
55%. I give it the edge
Okay.
currently
Okay.
for sure. Even
Okay.
if I'm rolling up, I might be rolling up Saturday morning, but
You
I'll be
need
there.
if you're gonna book a flight, you should do it within like from a week out. Because if you do it within 7 days, it'll be way more expensive.
I don't know. I feel like the flights are pretty cheap though from me to Vegas though. There's so many all the time.
Yeah,
So
but it's like if there's something about like I don't know.
also usually when I fly to Vegas, the flights are like never full.
Yeah,
So
but they just airlines increase the prices within 7 days of the flight taking place, like
but
across the
sometimes
board.
they decrease them. Like if a flight's not full, they'll decrease the flight prices. If it there's no way it's uber expensive from California to Vegas. There's no way it'll be, like,
Okay.
ridiculous. I'm pretty confident I'll be able to book last minute if I want to.
Well, yeah,
Chip
but
wants me to commit, so I go to
I
the
just want to see you compete, man. I'll see you out there.
You know what? I'll probably book my flight. You know what, Chip? I'll probably book my flight because I could always just cancel it if I have to, so,
There we go.
yeah.
We got
I
to
just
get
have to
the uncommon
decide
energy blackjack session in there.
I would just have to decide if I wanna go Friday or Saturday morning, but
All
that'll be a
right.
decision.
Azul, that is, I believe, it for us this week. You got anything else you want to say before we get out of here to the bonus episode?
No, appreciate the, support as,
Well, what is
oh,
happening? Right.
send us out, Chip.
Th- I mean, you can do it if you want. It just
Oh,
feels wrong.
just get us out, get us out, get
I
us out.
want you to do it. Actually, no, go ahead.
Send
I'm passing
us
the torch to you.
All right, Chip. That's gonna do it. Catch you all next week.
Come on, man.
Now, thanks everyone for listening. If you did enjoy the podcast, of course, leave a rating. That is the quickest and easiest way to support us here. And then, of course, if you want to keep up to date with us, check us out on socials. Check out the secondary YouTube channel, Uncommon Energy, and then follow us over on X, Uncommon underscore Energy for the podcast. At you change? You're not. You're Chip Ritchie now, right? You say it every week too, and I just don't.
I've been at Chip
It's
Ritchie
At
for
Chip
like
Ritchie
three and a
for
half years,
Chip.
probably.
You say it every time, so I don't even remember. And then at Azul underscore GG for myself.
Good job. Hey, round of applause for Azul, everyone sending us out. Thanks so much for listening. We'll talk to you guys next week. 7 a.m. Eastern. That's what you always say, right? 7
Yep.
a.m. Eastern.
So they know.